Hi everyone, welcome to BagelDB Bytes. My name's Baz, and today I want to introduce you to BagelDB with Web. We're going to cover how to create your first project in BagelDB, how to add a collection to that project, and finally we're going to use a JavaScript library to add items to that collection. Let's get started. So after you've created your account and gone through the whole sign up process, you'll be taken to your organization page. On your organization page, you can see what your first organization has been called, and you can change that name under settings. So for example, we might go in here, we can click rename, and we might change it to web example org. Okay, great. Let's go back. Now we can see our name has been updated. Now, we can see we have no projects for this organization. Let's create a new project, and we'll call it web example. Click create, and we have a project. We go in, and we get to the home page for the project. Along this sidebar, we can see we have collections for a project, we have webhooks for a project. You can click on the help button to be taken to the documentation and the settings. For now, we're going to start off with collections. Let's create a new collection and give the collection name books. Now let's click create collection. A collection will be created for us, and automatically a field called metadata will be added to every collection. The metadata field will include information like your ID of an item, the creation date of an item, and the last updated date of an item. Then we can start adding our own fields. So for books, we're going to add a title. And we might add a description. And we'll keep it at that for now. We can come back later and add any of these number of these types of fields, whether it's another plain text field or whether we want to add images or image gallery. Let's click done. And here we'll be taken back to our collection homepage. You can see we now have a collection called books, and there's 0 total items in that book. Over here on the right side, we have the ability to create a new item. We can click new item, and we'll see the new item page, where we can enter a title and description for that book. But now we're going to leave this alone because we're going to be adding books via API tokens. Down here on the bottom left, that's where we can see that says no API tokens. Click on settings to get started developing. So we go, thanks. Let's click on settings. And now we get to our project settings. In our project settings, we can see what we've called this project, what the project ID is. We have a section for API tokens, which we'll get into in a second. And we have a danger zone where we can delete our project. So let's go ahead and create ourselves a new API token. We'll click new API token. We get to give this token a name. So we're going to call it add books token. And we're going to give it permissions of read and write for books. Let's generate that token. And here we have our token. We click to copy our token and we'll click close. Once we do click close, we will never again be able to see our token. So we have to make sure that we store this token in a secure place, like we would secure any password. We click close, and we're going to come across here now. So now we're going into our IDE, into our editor, and we're going to create a little Node.js function, which is going to add books. So I've put in some templated code first. But if we look down here, we press ls, we'll see all that there is an index.js. We're going to paste our book token here before we lose it, quite a large token. And now we have our token over here. In production, you wouldn't be storing your token right here in the code as a constant. But for now, we're going to do this for testing purposes. And as we saw, we have nothing in this project. So let's do npm init in order to get started. -y. And that all sets it up for us. We have to npm install at BagelDB -BagelDB. And it will install the BagelDB package. The BagelDB packages is a wrapper over our REST library, which allows us to easily get items, create items, get nested items and collections, and also upload images to items in BagelDB. Great, so now if we press ls, we can see now that we've created a package.json. We've added our BagelDB, which has got, and that's why we now have node modules and package lock. So let's get started. Let's go through line by line what we have here. So first we import BagelDB. We now have we've created our token and we've put that in from what we created in the BagelDB admin. And now instantiating a new BagelDB object. So let's get started. We're going to create a function that adds books. So we do BagelDB let collection equal BagelDB dot collection, and we put in our collection ID over here. So if we come back over here, we can see we go into settings. Our collection ID is books. So we're going to copy books, paste it over here. Great. Now we have a collection, and we can use this collection to query multiple times and in different ways, whether it's get all the items, whether it's get a single item, whether we're adding an item or updating items. For now, we want to write a function that will add a book, taking in a book name and a book description as parameters. So we're going to do collection dot post. Simple as that. And in here, we're going to create our book item. So we create a object. In this object, we put actually, let's make sure we know what we've called our fields. So we go back here, and we can see in here what we've called the IDs of each field. So the ID of the title is actually a title. So rather than book name, we'll rename this one here to book title. And we'll place title over here. And we'll assign title to be book title. And let's go back to BagelDB to look at description. And we've seen that we've given it the ID description. So back here, place the description, and we'll assign it book description. We'll await this. And it's complaining that we haven't made our function async. Let's make the function async so we can await. So we have await collection.post, and that will post an item. We'll do let's do data. And that's because every time we post an item in the data, we'll get back the ID of that item we've created. And we'll be able to console log that data, and then we'll be able to see each time we create an item. So that's as simple as it gets. That 3-line function there should be able to, really 2 lines, ignoring the console. We'll create a BagelDB collection instance, and then we'll be able to post against that. We can do further gets and writes and everything. For now, we're just going to do a post. Let's come back down to our terminal, and let's run that function. Node index.js. Bam! Here we have seen that it's created the 3 books as we have here. We created a book called Lord of the Flies. We've created a book called Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. These are the IDs of those items that we have created. We can come back to now to our dashboard, and if we go down, we can see that now we have those 3 items. Each item, as I said before, will get assigned an ID, a last updated date, and a created date. We also get the title as we added, and the description. Let's click on one of these items and we'll skip it further. So we can see the title, as we said, the Lord of Flies, and we have a little description about the Lord of Flies. It's a great little editor over here, which we can also edit. We can click see the code. We can see it's a simple paragraph. Save. And we'll discard any changes that we made. And that's how we get started on BagelDB. For any questions, look down in the description below where I've included our Discord channel and then a link to sign up to BagelDB. Thanks for joining.